Our movie today begins in the Ice Age, with the squirrel searching for a place to hide his acorn. Suddenly, a huge ice mountain cracks and starts shifting from its place. The squirrel grabs the acorn and runs as fast as he can before the mountain reaches him. But unfortunately, another mountain appears from the other side, trapping him in between. After many attempts, the squirrel finally manages to escape the collapse safely. At that moment, a herd of migrating animals passes by. We see a mammoth named Manny walking in the opposite direction of the herd. When one of the animals yells at him, Manny gets annoyed, ignores him, and keeps walking. Next, we meet a lazy sloth named Sid, and we learn that his family abandoned him because he's extremely annoying. He also decides to leave his place to migrate south with the other animals. On the way, Sid comes across a pair of rhinoceroses who are delighted because they've just found the last wildflower. But then, Sid grabs the flower and eats it. This makes the rhinos furious, and they start chasing him. Sid runs as fast as he can until he crashes into Manny, who gets really annoyed with him and yells at him. Even so, Manny defends Sid from the rhinos charging at full speed to attack. Manny is shocked, but manages to take them down. Sid's situation improves, and he thanks Manny, until Sid accidentally causes them to fall off the edge of a cliff. This makes Manny furious again. He yells at Sid and walks away. Sid decides to follow Manny anyway, because he's afraid of the rhinos. Manny keeps telling him not to come along because he's such an annoying animal. But Sid ignores him and continues walking beside him. Meanwhile, we see a human tribe, with the leader happily playing with his young son. From a distance, two saber-toothed tigers are watching them. We learn that the first is named Diego, and the second is the leader of the tiger pack. The leader tells Diego they'll attack the humans after they fall asleep to take revenge on them. The tiger leader orders Diego to bring him the human child, while he goes to prepare the rest of the pack. We then return to Sid and Manny, who are gathering tree branches for shelter. Sid keeps trying to light a pile of sticks, but the weather suddenly changes, and he fails to get a fire going. Sid then asks Manny if he can sleep next to him in the tent, and starts telling him about his family, how they abandoned him and left. When Sid asks Manny about his own family, Manny gets uncomfortable, walks away, and goes to sleep. We cut back to the saber-toothed tigers, preparing to attack the human tribe, but the dogs notice them and alert the humans at the last moment. The leader wakes up along with the rest of the tribe, and they fight back against the attacking tigers. The leader runs to the tent to get his child, but suddenly the mother appears, carrying her baby, and runs away. Diego chases her, pursuing her relentlessly until she reaches a waterfall. There, Diego corners her and snaps the chain holding the baby. But before he can attack, the mother leaps off the waterfall with her child, plunging into the river below. The rest of the tigers retreat from the village and regroup with Diego, who tells them the child fell into the river. The tiger leader becomes angry and orders Diego to bring back the child, warning him not to return without it. We then see the human tribe leader finding the necklace that fell from his son and reading the markings on it. Back with Manny and Sid, Sid is being incredibly annoying, talking non-stop. Suddenly, they spot the mother in the river, exhausted and barely holding on to her baby. Manny rescues the child, keeping him from falling into the water, but when they turn back, the mother has vanished. Manny puts the baby down and starts to leave, but Sid tells him they can't just abandon the child. They realize the family must be near the smoke rising above the waterfall, and that they should return the baby to them. Manny snaps at Sid, saying he's not going with him and ordering him not to follow. Sid ignores him and takes the baby anyway. He begins to climb the mountain to reach the humans, and Manny stands far away watching him until the baby falls from Sid's hands. Suddenly Diego appears and snatches him, so Manny runs toward him, starts attacking him, and takes the baby away from him. At that moment, Diego tells him that the baby belongs to him, and that he wants to return him to his family. Sid tells him that they will return him to his family because he is a predator and would surely eat him. Diego replies that the humans were near the waterfall, but left in the morning, and they will not be able to reach their place. Manny gets upset, yells at Diego, and asks him to leave. Sid realizes that he will help him return the baby to his parents, so Diego leaves them and walks away. After a while, Manny and Sid manage to reach the tribe's place, but their tents are completely abandoned and destroyed. Suddenly Diego appears and tells them that he was right, because the humans abandoned their tents and left. He tells them that he can lead them to their location by tracking their scent, and asks Manny to give him the baby so he can return him to his family. But Manny refuses, and tells Sid that they will go with Diego because he is the only one who can lead them to the humans. The three of them start their journey together. On the way, the baby starts crying, so Manny asks Sid to change his diaper. Sid manages to do it and then throws it at Manny, who gets annoyed and hits Sid, making the baby laugh at Sid. The baby starts crying again. Suddenly, a bird comes and takes the diaper away. Manny and his friends run after it and find a flock of birds preparing for the Ice Age. Manny approaches them and asks for a watermelon to feed the hungry baby, but the bird leader refuses, saying the watermelons are their storage to survive the Ice Age. Manny notices they only have 3 watermelons, which won't last long. Suddenly, one watermelon accidentally falls from the bird leader and stops in front of the baby. The leader gets upset and all the birds run to take the watermelon from the baby, tossing it to each other until one bird accidentally throws it off the mountain. Manny takes advantage of the moment to try and get another watermelon, but the birds attack, tossing the watermelon between them until it also falls into a spring. Now, there's only one watermelon left, and they all run after it. Manny grabs it and throws it to Sid, but the birds surround them from every side. Sid jumps over them and smashes the watermelon on the ground, breaking it. The baby starts happily eating it. At night, the animals decide to sleep so they can continue their journey the next day. Manny appears worried and afraid of Diego. Sid and Diego also fall asleep, while Manny tries not to sleep but eventually can't resist and dozes off. A little later, Diego wakes up and approaches Manny, trying to take the baby from him, but fails. Suddenly, Diego senses someone else in the area. When he goes to attack, he discovers it's one of the tigers from his pack. Another tiger arrives and asks Diego why he hasn't returned the baby to the leader. Diego tells him that he plans to lure the mammoth and the sloth along with the baby to the pack so they can attack and eat them. Diego asks them to go inform the leader. The next day, Manny wakes up and is shocked when he doesn't find the baby with him. He and Diego realize that the baby is with Sid. Indeed, the baby is with Sid, who is taking the opportunity to impress some girls. They find out that he fought the pack of tigers and saved the baby from them. But then, Manny comes to him, hits him, takes the baby, and leaves him. Manny continues playing with the baby and places him on top of a tree, wondering how this small, cute creature will one day turn into a fierce human who attacks all animals without having claws or fangs. We then return to Sid, who goes to another spring and, by coincidence, meets the rhinos again. They start chasing him, so Sid runs away and goes to Diego, asking him for help. When the rhinos arrive, they find Diego holding Sid with his fangs. Sid pretends that Diego is going to eat him, so the rhinos leave them alone and go away. Manny then arrives, and they all continue their journey, which turns out to be very long. On the way, Diego changes the tiger's footprints to trick Manny and Sid. They continue until Diego spots the humans ahead of them. He tells Manny that he has found a cave that will take them quickly to the humans. But Manny and Sid think the cave looks very scary. They refuse Diego's idea, but suddenly, an avalanche happens. They all run quickly and enter the cave. When they try to get out, they find the cave blocked, so they decide to follow Diego. They walk through the place, and Sid gets scared when he sees a dinosaur frozen in the ice. He's also shocked to find a spaceship. They keep walking until they enter a stone cave with drawings of various animals on the walls. Among these drawings is an image of mammoths. When Manny sees it, he is deeply moved and remembers his family, whom he once protected, until humans attacked, killing his wife and child. Since then, he has lived alone. Sid and Diego feel sad and sympathetic when they learn what happened to Manny.